Can I start by asking how long For All Those Sleeping have actually been together?
We started after high school. We all went to high school together, and except for London, and none of us wanted to go to college, and we all love music, so we just started a band. So we really didn't actually get going until probably a year later. So we've been doing this for about 5 years now. We've been a band.
Has your style changed at all over that 5 years, or is this pretty much it?
Yeah, it's changed a lot, actually. I mean, each thing we've done seems to be a little different than the last. So, yeah, I don't know. It keeps getting, I feel like our first stuff was kind of heavy, and then we had our first album, which we actually got a little bit more melodic and not as heavy, and then our last album's a lot heavier and more angry, and the new stuff I'm writing, which I can't wait to share with the world, is definitely something different too, so I'm really pumped on that. But yeah, I think that's just part of the growing process as musicians and as people. You're just going to change. Everything can't stay the same forever, so
No.
yeah.
Well, you've got the album Outspoken out at the moment.
Yes.
So when can we expect to hear what you're working on at the moment?
Well, we go into the studio in January to record our next album.
Right.
So I don't know exactly when it's going to be released, but it should be within the first half of 2014.
Well, you guys are actually heading over here next month for the Vans Warped Tour. Are you looking forward to that?
Yes, I'm looking forward to that a lot. This will be our first time coming to Australia, and it's probably the best tour that we could really, dream of being on to start in our first time in Australia. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. We've got a lot of amazing fans we know there, and we're glad we finally get the chance to meet them and play for them all.
Yeah, well, we're very happy to have you coming here. It's the first time in 12 years that since we've had the Vans Warped Tour here too, so it's exciting for everyone.
It must be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Did you do the Vans Warped over in America this year?
No, we did not. We were on the All-Stars Tour this summer. So, yeah, we're excited to be on Warped Tour one way or another this year, and very pumped to be coming to Australia for it.
Yeah. At the moment, you're doing some shows around America still, aren't you?
Yeah, we're on tour right now. I'm in Denver, Colorado today. But, yeah, we're finishing up our last U.S. tour of the year. We got 4 more shows left. Yeah.
What time is it over there?
Let me check. I have no idea, actually. It is 4:22 p.m.
So you've got a show tonight?
Yeah, we've got a show tonight. Yeah, we play in about 5 hours, something like that. So.
But you don't actually sing in the band, so that's why you're doing all the talking at the moment.
Yeah, that seems to be it, maybe. But I definitely don't sing. I cannot sing at all, so I'm happy to talk everyone's ear off instead.
Oh, that's good. What is it that For All Those Sleeping actually like to write about? Is it a personal message, a message for the world, experiences?
I feel like, as we've grown, when our first album came out, we wrote that when we were 19 years old. And at the time, what is important to me then and was important to us then isn't the same as it is now. And, it kind of was, you see the transition from back then, it was carefree. We were carefree. We were just happy to be playing music and traveling around, and, and it was just fun. And, that first record's a lot of fun, I feel like. And with our last record, we actually started kind of looking into some deeper issues with ourselves, and I think with this new record, it's not really a message to the world, with our last record especially too. The album's called Outspoken. The one thing we do encourage is just setting by example, is that, we had all these issues and all this anger that we needed to let out. Things I know, like me personally, I never really talked about. I've talked about on the record. I wrote about lyrics. And you gotta, speak up. You can't, just, bury stuff deep inside. So it's not a message to the world. It's more of just setting by example. So that's kind of what that last record was about. But for this new record, I don't know. I feel like it's not a message to the world. I feel like the songs that I always connected with the most and the songs that helped me out were just personal songs, because if you can relate to it, I felt this way. I feel like that's better than those songs that are supposed to be a message. I like depressing and dark stuff like growing up. That's the stuff I'm like, yeah, that's real. That feels real to me. So it's definitely not a message to the world, but it does give out a message, that's great too. But it's definitely not targeted for that. We write music because that's what we need to do. It's
Yeah.
part of our life. Even if I wasn't in this band, I'd still be writing music because I just need to.
Great. So then
I hope
who...
that answers it.
Yeah, it does. And who is it that you would like to share a stage with the most then?
Any band, my dream band to share a stage with. I got to pick one.
Well, no, I guess not. You don't have to do anything.
Well, if I were to pick one, and that's really tough, but I would say AFI is my favorite band ever. And
Oh, cool.
the band that really got me started, really got me into, writing lyrics, actually. So that was kind of a big thing for me. So I'd probably say them.
They're coming out for the Soundwave tour in February.
You guys are lucky. I heard they were going to be doing Warped Tour with us at first, so
No.
I was bummed out that they aren't. But no, I'm glad you guys get to see them. I just saw them actually about 4 weeks ago. Fantastic. They always are amazing, but that was probably the best I've ever seen them actually. So you guys are in for a treat.
Yeah. So is there someone who is actually on the Warped Tour with you that you are dying to see that maybe you haven't been able to catch live before?
There's a lot of awesome bands on this tour I'm really excited to be a part of. But I've seen a lot of them, but I think the ones I'm excited about the most, I grew up listening to Simple Plan and Newfound Glory, when I was younger. And I've seen Simple Plan once, but I've never seen Newfound Glory. So I'm excited to see them for the first time. And then The Used also is one of those bands that really got me getting me into heavier music, I guess. And I saw them for the first time last year, actually. So, but anyway, regardless, I'm excited to see all those bands. Those bands were really big for me in my pop punk days, so I'm really pumped to actually be on the same tour as them and get to see them every day.
Yeah. I should tell people actually where to find you on Facebook too. You are facebook.com/for all those sleeping. You have your website for allthosesleeping.com, and I guess in a way, maybe the reason I asked if there was a message in your music is because of the name. It sounds like a wake-up call to people, You know
what? You are probably the 100th, 200th, I don't know, interview where people will bring up our band name and ask if there's a message. And I'm going to be honest with you, there is absolutely no message behind our band name. We picked the band name because I know Jared and Ethan and I were younger, when we were 15 or whatever, we were in this horrible punk band. And at the time, we hated heavy music and screaming, oh, it's so stupid, punk rock is awesome. And what we did was we were talking about making up a joke band that would play heavy music. And let's sing it the most depressing, stupid name ever. And then we were oh, For All Those Sleeping, that sounds so dumb. And so it was a joke. And then a couple years later, when we actually started this band, we're hey, remember that band name that was the joke back in the day? And we ended up actually going with that. So I feel bad there's no message if people are looking for one in the actual name. But that's the story behind it.
Yeah, no, I don't mean that there's the message in the name. It's just that it sounds like you're calling out to people to listen to your lyrics because there's a message in them, wake up sort of thing. That's what it sounds
Let's
like.
stick with that then, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I suppose even just the loudness of the music would wake people up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's the hope at least.
You've been in the industry for 5 years now, as you said. Have you got a record label?
Yeah, we're on Fearless Records.
All right. So what's the best piece of advice that someone has given you about the music industry?
Oh, boy. I think the best piece of advice that I've gotten is to kind of listen to people who've been there before you. We've had the opportunity to tour with a lot of great bands and people that were experienced, veterans in, touring and in the industry. And a lot of times, you want to think that you know what you're doing, but a lot of times you don't, especially if it's something brand new, like when we signed our record deal when we were kids, pretty much, and we had no idea what we were doing. But we're glad we did. I'm just saying, but you think you know a lot more than you do, and just always kind of take advice from people who've done it before you. I feel like that's probably the most helpful thing that I've I guess, receive for advice.
And probably what you would tell a young upcoming band too then.
Absolutely.
Great. So, you're looking at releasing an album next year? Are you looking at touring again outside of America?
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming to Australia right now, or next month, or November, December, whatever it is. And after that, we got to finish up the record, and then we kind of have to wait to see. There's a bunch of logistical side. There's a lot of logistics that go into it before we know what we're doing. But I'm assuming we'll be definitely heading outside the country again next year. Yeah, and we haven't been to Europe for about a year now. We'll probably head back there, and hopefully, if you guys like us enough in Australia, we'll come back. So, But yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely probably be traveling outside the U.S. again.
Great, and hopefully you'll be here in November. Otherwise, you'll miss the first 2 shows of the tour. Because
we will be there in November. We're going to be on every show. So.
That's good, because the first one's the 29th of November in Brisbane, and then
yes, we fly in. We'll be playing that one, yeah.
Yeah, then Coffs Harbour too, and Sydney, Canberra, Melbourne, and Adelaide. Finishing up on the 8th of December. Are you going to have any time off while you're down here?
Yeah, we do. I believe we have one side show somewhere that I don't know if it's been announced yet. I don't really know. But yeah, we should have, I believe, at least one day off. And what I would have been told, I don't know, but I heard we're going to go to some awesome animal or a wildlife reserve or something, and I get to hold the koala like everyone does, take the picture, and meet kangaroos and all that stuff, which I'm really excited about. So hopefully we get that time or that time off. But either way, I'm just looking forward to traveling and seeing all the great cities in Australia.
Yeah, there are 3 requirements: cuddle a koala, see a kangaroo, and eat some Vegemite when you're down here.
I will be doing all 3 of those, guaranteed.
Thank you very much. It's been great talking to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Kat. Thanks for having me.
And I look forward to catching up with you, at least seeing your show when you get down here.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Have a good night. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.